shout. I'm Dave Marshall Barrett. It's Reggae Got Soul. And we've got a special guest in the building. It's DJ Kat. Kat, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. So, before we get into anything, I want to get into your what I call your foundation.
Okay.
How did you get involved in all this stuff in the first place?
All this stuff, wow.
Yeah.
So, I guess it all started really just the love of music. That's how it started, I suppose. I mean, I went through a bit of bullying at school, and music seemed to be the way out, really, or the way to funnel or channel that kind of hatred that people seem to have towards me.
So and was it always reggae music that you sort of got into?
Well, I loved Bob Marley from a quite young, but then my uncle, who's listening now, he kind of also helped me look at other artists and said, look at this artist, look at that artist, reggae, and then it helped me, to be honest.
Yeah. Name a few.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay, so people like Burning Spear, Peter Tosh, Bonnie Wailer, Bob Marley, of course, all the foundation artists, and then of course the queens of reggae, so Queen Ifrica, Itana, you just played there. Then of course the young people of music like Kofi, that's coming up, and then those kind of artists, great reggae lovers, really. Yeah.
So that kind of inspired you. And of course you've been DJing, you've been presenting stuff on the radio.
Of course.
Hills FM, was that your very first start?
It was my very first start. I was 16.
Wow.
And at that time there was a person called Mandy working there.
Yes.
I don't know if you remember.
Brown
Sugar.
Yeah, I remember her.
And she was the first person that I spoke to on Hills FM, and she was like, yeah, come down, blah blah blah. And then from then it's just kept going from different stations. So and now I'm on Arawak. With Mikey. So it's been good.
That is cool. So it's your third station.
It is.
And I know you're really busy with that stuff, and that's really good.
Yeah, it's really good. Really nice to have a station and where you can voice your opinions is quite nice as well, and then get other people to come in. That's good as well.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
And it's not just DJing, because I know you've got a poem out there.
I have got a poem.
Yeah. Tell us about. Has it got a title?
Well, I'm thinking the poem's got to be something like I'm light skinned. I think that's kind of sums it all up, that whole poem. Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, because the poem addresses the whole thing about dual heritage identity. Pauline Black was on the show last night, and it got really heavy. She was our Artifacts guest.
Okay.
And it was really heavy just in terms of identity and stuff. Ras Emmanuel as well, we talked about stuff like that. So what's your take in terms of your identity?
Well, what can I say about identity, to be honest? I think identity itself is down to the person and how you see yourself, first of all. But it's also how society sees you. That plays a massive role. So I suppose the first thing people see of me is being a young white girl, I suppose. But then until you talk to me or look at my clothes, most likely will give it away. Hold on a minute, this girl, she actually might have a bit of, I suppose, Caribbean heritage or African heritage. It's probably what you see.
It's clear, though, to look at you. It's clear, even though you're very light-skinned, you see black features.
Okay.
You definitely see African features in you.
Okay.
And when I use the term African, meaning black.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you get different opinions on that.
Okay.
So, and plus, I think it depends where you are as well. Like, if I'm in my normal day job, people didn't necessarily know that I was Caribbean until I said it. Then they'll say, oh yeah, you're actually Caribbean, blah blah blah. So stuff like that. Yeah.
And your parents, so is it a black father?
No, my mum is mixed. So my mum is Jamaican and English.
Right.
And my dad is Scottish.
But
my granddad's Jamaican.
Yeah.
And then you could go further on, and then there's Chinese, Syrian, and Indian in our family as well.
Wow.
So there's a big mix.
It's complicated.
It is.
Also, I think I may have mentioned this to you before, but Joe Birchall.
Yeah.
How does that relate to your family?
Okay.
Joe Birchall.
Which one?
Joe Birchall, who was in Miami.
Oh, okay, so that is my uncle. That is my granddad's brother.
Right. And you know why I mentioned his name?
Why is that? Is he your godparent?
He was my godfather.
Okay.
And Joe Birchall actually brought me my first ever guitar when I was, I think, 9 years old.
Wow.
So, but luckily I actually did go to Miami and met him before he passed away.
Okay, so you know Auntie Dorothy then?
Yeah.
Okay.
So growing up, these are like elders to me.
Wow, that's
You
great.
didn't really know that, so
I didn't
that's my
know.
connection with your family.
Okay, so basically now you're like family, isn't it?
Well, it's a godparent, but yeah.
Yeah. So there you go.
When I say god family.
An extra cousin added.
That is cool. So the poem, I think, did you do it around Fargo Village?
I did, yeah. I did it. I thought it needed to be in Coventry because that's where I'm from.
Yeah.
And then I suppose I just thought, like, this has been on my mind for a long time. So I just need to showcase it and what I'm thinking. And then, to be honest, I was quite surprised. Quite a lot of people were messaging me saying, Kat, I can really relate to this. And I was like, wow, that's quite amazing. Like, quite a few other young people who are light-skinned as well, who were getting some, I suppose, aggro from different people, whether they are black or white, or they're too light or too black. So it was quite interesting to hear their thoughts on it as well.
Yeah. And, you know, we've talked about radio stuff, and I use the term stuff, and poetry, and also DJ, because you actually do it in functions and clubs as well.
Yeah. I love DJ. I love seeing the crowd, and I love, as a DJ, you read the crowd and you say to yourself, okay, this is going to kill the dance. Let's go.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and often or not, if you read it right and you see the audience, then you know what to play. Well, you know anyway.
Well, yeah, back in the day. It's getting to be a memory now. So, have you got a favourite gig that you've played at all?
Wow.
Or a most memorable one?
Most memorable. I think one of the ones I really enjoyed was at the Godiva Festival.
Yeah.
I was in the rhythm tent and I was playing. But it was interesting because the first part of it was like ska, sort of ska and reggae, and it was like old school vibe. And then all of a sudden, young people came into the tent, so I had to switch it. And I was like, right, okay, I know what they're going to like. They're going to like the old school dancehall. So I played Million Styles, Miss Fatty. I played those kind of tunes where I knew that young people would like it, and it really went off. And I was like, yeah, okay, I can switch it quite good then.
That's good. So it's good to be intuitive.
It is.
You see, some DJs will just have to hit, this is what I've come here to do, and they would just stayed with that, but you read the crowd.
But to be honest, it's no point playing like a Burning Spear tune for young people, because they're not going to hear it unless you introduce it slowly and say, okay, this is Burning Spear. Start weeding them into it, sort of thing. But until then, you can't really play it, because they'll just stand still and think, what is this?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Wow. And have you got a favourite era for reggae?
Favourite era? That's so hard. I haven't got a favourite era necessarily, but I really enjoy kind of the reggae foundations, like Prince Buster. I really like him.
Yeah.
I really like I said before, all the roots kind of artists, as well as ska, rocksteady. I'm more like old school sort of flavour.
Yeah.
But then on saying that, I am loving Chronix, Protégé, their kind of new style. And of course, Chronix and Etana that you just played earlier are now been nominated for a Grammy.
That's right,
along with Sting and Shaggy and so on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just love reggae as a whole. I can't really say a particular era.
Yeah,
because
there is a new school of roots that's out there, which is quite interesting.
It is, but if you ask some of the old school like artists that I've heard like being interviewed and that, they'll just say there's no new school. There's always old school, and they've just nicked it from us. Stuff like that. So I think it depends as well when you was born and what you appreciate.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of the songs I play are reworkings of old Studio One rhythm tracks.
Yeah.
Reggae's always done that. There's always these rhythm tracks that came out in the 60s, they've done it in the 70s, the 80s, 90s, in the noughties, and they're just on and on. So it's quite interesting. So it merges.
Of course. But I also like some of the dub tracks. I really like Congo Natty.
Yeah.
He's really good at fusing music together. So
he was Rebel MC, right?
Yeah, Rebel MC, yeah. Well, okay.
But yeah, same dude, but yeah.
Yeah, I really like how he fuses music. So he'll fuse dub, and then he'll take a piece from reggae, and also a piece of Bob Marley's voice, and make it all sound as one track. Things like that I think are really good. Cool. Yeah.
And you're a bit of a sound system fan as well?
I am, yeah. I like seeing how they put the speaker boxes together. I haven't really seen it as much lately. I reckon it's because of technology. But when I used to watch, I think the first sound I ever watched was Maccabee in Coventry. Yeah. And then I watched Ebony Sound string up at the club. And it was just amazing to see teamwork. I think no, seriously, because when you're a DJ and stuff, you're kind of like on your own sort of thing. But it's quite nice to see a group of people working together to make a great sound, or to make a dance happen, or anything, or just for the community to come together. And I really enjoyed watching it. Wow. So yeah.
That's cool. It's been good chatting to you. So can you let people who are listening know, in terms of your poem, how they can hear it?
Of course. Not all you have to do. What you can do is, I have a YouTube channel. You can type into YouTube DJ-Kat. And sometimes you have to put Coventry, because obviously that's where it is. So put DJ-Kat Coventry, and poetry as well, and it comes up straight away. You can also check it on Facebook. It's always been posted on there, so you can check that out on there as well.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, Kat, thanks for dropping by. And the tune I'm going to play next, I reckon you might like this artist.
All right, then.
I'm not, I've got to introduce it. But There Is a Spirit, Summary Eye.
Okay,
Produced by Rory
yeah.
Stolove.
Drop
From the
it.
album Black Gold, of course.
Okay, drop it.